What's up guys, this is the IJP Mexican and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be going over 5 reasons why the Dragon Quest series isn't as popular here in the West when we compare it to Japan. Reason number 1, America isn't that much into RPGs when we compare it to Japan. The RPG genre is very niche, especially in the 80s and 90s. It has become more popular in more recent years, but all things considered, it's still pretty niche. And Japan knows this. Unless the game's called Pokemon or Final Fantasy, chances are it's not going to sell a large quantity of units. Luckily, the genre has become more popular in the past couple of decades. For example, we have games like Skyrim, which pretty much everybody has played, and we have games like Final Fantasy VII, which is regarded as one of the best games ever made. But those are all examples of the exception to the rule. The fact is that here in the West, RPGs are still a very niche genre that very few people are interested in. Reason number 2, a lack of a push of the Dragon Quest series in America. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, as I'm recording this right now, there's still no official English trailer for the HD 2D remake for Dragon Quest III. Isn't that crazy? There's only the Japanese trailer. And as a matter of fact, despite the fact that I'm a pretty big Dragon Quest III fan, I only recently learned of this trailer and of this remake. It does seem like Japan really doesn't want to take the time to advertise Dragon Quest here because they know that it won't sell that many units here in comparison to back home. But the negative effect is that less people are aware of Dragon Quest. I don't ever remember seeing a commercial for Dragon Quest, for example, growing up. It's really hard for an audience to gestate here in the West if they don't even know that the game exists. I am very surprised that they didn't try to do this when America was having its big DBZ boom. For those who are unaware, all two of you, Dragon Quest art is done by the legendary Akira Toriyama, so you would think they would take that opportunity to really push Dragon Quest during that time frame. Now, maybe they did try to do that and were unsuccessful, and because they were unsuccessful, I am unaware of this attempt, but I'm pretty sure they never did. Reason number 3, it is a turn-based game and it's pretty simple. The turn-based combat system has a pretty negative connotation here. It's viewed as boring, antiquated, outdated, subpar even, and all around just pretty boring. The turn-based combat system really only appeals to a very small fan base, and even people who are fans of RPGs will say that turn-based combat can get pretty boring at times. I personally am not one of those people. I find a lot of enjoyment out of those systems, but most people don't. Dragon Quest is still turn-based, unlike Final Fantasy, although in Dragon Quest XI they do have that newer version of the turn-based system. It is still viewed as turn-based. It is not anything like the Final Fantasy VII combat system, where it's all not turn-basedy and whatnot. It's pretty hard to get people into RPGs when they're not a fan of those older systems. And Dragon Quest is viewed as a pretty simple game, which is true and is not a bad thing. It only becomes a bad thing when people mistake simple for simplistic. Now, Dragon Quest is a series that's made simple so that pretty much anybody can get into it, but with that comes the negative connotation of it being simplistic in comparison to other RPGs, which isn't necessarily untrue. But simplistic or simple doesn't mean bad. But a lot of people will look at Dragon Quest and say, why would I play a simpler version of a Final Fantasy game? For example, Final Fantasy has a lot more of a serious art style in comparison to Akira Toriyama's more cartoony art style. They'll look at that and think, oh, this game isn't as serious as others. Number 4, there is no Final Fantasy VII equivalent. Now, what do I mean by this? I mean to say that there's no Dragon Quest game that has the connotation of being one of the best games ever made here in the West. Now, in Japan, that's probably not the case. I'm sure at least 4 of the Dragon Quest games are considered to be some of the best games ever made in Japan, but I don't think that's the case here. If you go up to a random gamer and ask them, is Final Fantasy VII one of the best games ever made? They'll probably say yes. But if you go up to a random gamer and say, hey, is Dragon Quest III one of the best games ever made? chances are that they'll say, I think so, I've heard good things about the game, but chances are that they've never even heard of Dragon Quest. Same thing with Dragon Quest VIII, that's usually regarded as one of the best games in the series. And again, if you just go up to a random gamer and say, hey, Dragon Quest VIII, best game, one of the best games of all time, I don't think people would say yes. Now, I'm personally not saying that Final Fantasy VII is better than Dragon Quest VIII or, whatever, but the perception is definitely that it is. Now, the closest games to a Final Fantasy VII equivalent are probably Dragon Quest VIII and maybe even Dragon Quest XI. I've only heard good things when people discuss Dragon Quest VIII, and Dragon Quest XI is also of equal quality according to a lot of people, and it's newer, so there's more exposure to it. And reason number 5, and this is kind of a niche reason, almost kind of like a joke, but I do think there is an influence on the perception of Dragon Quest. The lack of YouTube content on the Dragon Quest series. Now yeah, there is plentiful video out there talking about Dragon Quest and reviewing Dragon Quest games, but when you compare it to other games, it's not that much. For example, there's only a handful of Dragon Quest III reviews out there, and most of them are by smaller channels. The real exception to this, I would say, is the Completionist. He has made reviews of the first 2 games. The Angry Video Game Nerd has uploaded a chronologically confused about Dragon Quest video. But other than that, I can't really think of any big creator that's made Dragon Quest content. And when looking up Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake, the trailer has been uploaded by 2 different channels, one by IGN. The title is in English. It's obviously the Japanese trailer, but the title to the video is in English, and it has 600,000 views, and it was uploaded 8 months ago at this point. And then we have the same trailer uploaded by a bunch of Japanese characters that I cannot read, also uploaded 8 months ago, which is titled HD 2D, a bunch of characters in Japanese that I cannot read, and it has almost 4 million views. Really goes to show the disparity in between the 2 regions. As a matter of fact, there is a lot of content from Dragon Quest that's actually in Spanish. This is really the only game that I can look up on YouTube and find Spanish videos on. Like, I would usually have to go out of my way to find Spanish videos about a certain game, but here they just show up in the normal results. And that's not because I'm in Mexico, because every other game I look up, it's always overwhelmingly in English. Did I say 5 reasons? Well, here's a bonus reason that I thought up of when I was editing this video. Number 6, a lack of accessibility to the games. Now yes, the first 3 games are on the Nintendo Switch. They came out relatively recently, but they don't look good. But there is still more that could be done. For example, if I go on Steam right now and type in Final Fantasy, I get results like Final Fantasy XIV Online, Final Fantasy VI, Final Fantasy V, 1, 4, 3, 15 Windows Edition, 2, 7, 9, 1 through 6 Bundle, 13, 12, 10 and 10.2 HD Remaster, 8, 13.2, 4 3D Remake, 3 3D Remake, and the list goes on and on. Now let's compare that to if I look up Dragon Quest into Steam. We get Dragon Quest Builders 2, Dragon Quest XI, Dragon Quest Heroes, Dragon Quest Heroes Slime Edition, Dragon Quest Builders 2 Jumbo Demo, and everything else is not Dragon Quest games. So I mentioned before that Dragon Quest VIII was probably the closest thing to the Dragon Quest series has to a Final Fantasy VII. Why in the hell can't I look up Dragon Quest VIII on Steam and play the darn game? You know how expensive that game is now? An original PlayStation 2 version cost $160 on Amazon, and there's only one left in stock. But you might be thinking, wasn't there a 3DS remake that came out semi-recently? Yes, there was. That cost $150. Even the digital code version cost $40. Meanwhile, Final Fantasy on Steam costs $12. There is no good reason why there isn't more Dragon Quest games on Steam. I don't understand why? And again, comparing it to Final Fantasy, recently released their pixel remakes of the first 5 games, and their 6th one is coming out pretty soon. So if someone wanted to get into the Dragon Quest series and want to start with some of the first games, they can easily do so. Not the same thing for Dragon Quest. Again, there is a Switch version of the first 3 games, but look at this. This does not look good. I am hoping, I am praying, please, Jesus, my Lord and Savior, please allow for the new Dragon Quest III remake to come out on Steam. There's a good chance that will happen, but there's also a good chance that that won't happen because of stupid reasons. Alright, that was your bonus reason. I'm gonna go back to saying that this was a 5 reason video for my outro because I don't feel like re-recording that. Oh look, you can also buy Chrono Trigger on Steam. That's pretty cool. Alright, those were the 5 reasons why Dragon Quest isn't as popular here in the West when we compare it to its home country. Let me know what you think down below. Please comment. You don't even have to like the video, just comment. If you don't want to like the video, that's fine. Leave 2 comments. Say, I did not like this video if you did not like this video. Hopefully, I'll be doing more Dragon Quest 3 and just Dragon Quest videos in general. Hopefully, going to try to boost the popularity a little bit, even though my channel only has 104 subscribers as of now. But that doesn't matter. It's all about positivity. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Peace out.